Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Chem Insider. In the previous video we had discussed about how a covalent bond is being formed and how the octet rule comes into play while studying the covalent bond formation in several molecules or atoms. Now in this class we are going to discuss about how a formal charge has to be provided in order to specify the number of electrons present in a given compound. In the previous video, we drew the structure of carbonate, right? C double bond O, O and O minus, like this, with a total number of electrons present in it. Instead of directly providing minus charge on each of the oxygen, what we did was, we took it on a whole minus charge like this, CO3 2 minus. So, whenever you write certain element in a polyatomic ion form, whenever you write the ionic form of polyatoms in the chemical formula, the charge present on it is clearly depending upon an ion in the whole system. So here the ion is depending upon the oxygen atom of this whole complete CO3 2 minus. Therefore, instead of giving a particular charge, if you write the structure of carbonate, we are writing it as CO3 minus 2, but not as CO3, one oxygen with a minus charge and the other with a minus charge. Therefore, in order to do such type of situations, what we have to do is we have to provide a formal charge on each of the atom which is present in the given polyatomic ions. Remember, formal charge comes into play only in the polyatomic ion cases only. Okay, so whenever you have a polyatomic ion type of a structure, you have to provide certain formal charges on those elements or atoms which are present carrying certain number of electrons in them. So, how to provide a formal charge? So, and what is a formal charge? A formal charge in a polyatomic ion species is the charge carried by one of the atom in the given polyatomic molecule. If you consider for a polyatomic molecule such as O3, if you consider a polyatomic molecule O3, that is ozone, it has two formal charges, one with a plus 1 and one with minus 1. If you write the structure of O3, we don't write the positive charge or the negative charge on oxygen. That is because we clearly say there is no charge present. But if you write the actual structure of oxygen, it is not possible to form oxygen's structure such as like this. Right? If O3 means it should have zero number of positive or negative charges. So this is one kind of a possibility, and the other possibility like this, or it might be one more possibility of one having a double bond, one having a no bond, and like this with a lone pair of electron. So there are certain cases where you have to select a proper amount of least energy structure. You have to consider for the structure which has the least amount of energy in order to completely explain the formal formation of a given polyatomic ion. Therefore, we will come across the formal charge concept. So, how to calculate formal charge of a molecule, formal charge of an atom or ion in a polyatomic species? So, formal charge is calculated by the formula. Formal charge is equal to total number of electrons in valence shell, total number of electrons in valence shell of, total number of electrons in the valence shell of isolated free atom, isolated free atom, total number of valence electrons in the isolated free atom minus total number of electrons assigned to it. Total number of electrons assigned to it. So this is what formal charge is defined as. Formal charge is defined as the total number of electrons present in the given atom in its valence shell minus the total number of electrons assigned to it in a given polyatomic structure. So it can be calculated by the formula the total number of electrons assigned varies for particular atom, and that particularly equal to, if you consider this as total number of valence electron, and it has to be subtracted by number of lone pair of electron, minus half of number of bonded pair electron, So this is the formula to calculate the formal charge of an atom or ion in a given polyatomic species. Okay, so now if you calculate for the oxygen ozone molecule, if you calculate the formal charge of the ozone molecule using the same formula, the formula will be written as, if you write ozone such as like this, if you write the structure of ozone as this, what we have over here is, this oxygen will be having one lone pair of electron, this oxygen has two lone pair of electron, this oxygen has two lone pair of electron. Okay, so now if I name them as oxygen 1, oxygen 2 and oxygen 3, if you calculate the formal charge of each of the oxygen, then if you write formal charge of O1, if you consider for the formal charge of oxygen 1, total number of electrons in an oxygen is 6. Oxygen has 6 valence electron, so 6 minus total number of lone pair of electrons in oxygen is 4. Okay, total number of bonding pair electron is 4, that is one bond involves 2 electron, it has 2 bonds, therefore 4 electron. But while a covalent bond is formed, it is because of sharing of electron between 2 atoms, therefore we have to divide it by 2. Okay, so now once you do this, the formal charge on oxygen 1 will be 0. Okay, the formal charge on oxygen 1 is 0. If you calculate the formal charge of oxygen 2, the formal charge on oxygen 2, that is FCO2, that is the second oxygen, that will be equal to, total number of electrons is 6 minus number of valence electron over here is 2 minus half of total number of bonding pair electron. 2 pair of electron by this bond, 2 electrons from this and 2 electrons from this bond. Totally 6 electrons because of the bonding pair. So if you calculate this all, you will get minus 1. Sorry, you get plus 1. So the formal charge on second oxygen is plus 1. So let us write the plus 1 over here. The formal charge on this oxygen is plus 1. Okay. Now if you take for the formal charge on oxygen 3, for the oxygen 3, this oxygen carries 3 lone pair of electrons because it should have octet structure, 2 plus 2 plus 2 6 and plus 2 8. This 2 and 3 bonds, totally 8. Okay. Now for the formal charge on third oxygen, the total number of electrons is 6 minus total number of valence electrons is 1, 2, 3 pair, that is 6 electron, minus half of bonding pair electron, that is 2. So once you do the calculation, you will get minus 1. That is, the formal charge on the third oxygen is minus 1. So if you calculate the formal charge of each of the oxygen in the ozone molecule, one oxygen will be having no formal charge, one oxygen will be having a formal charge of plus 1 and the other oxygen will be having a formal charge of minus 1. Similarly, you can calculate formal charge of different molecules using this formal charge expression. So what is the use of formal charge expression? Formal charge expression clearly does not explain us the shape of an orbital or shape of a molecule, but it helps us to understand the possible structure with its least possible energy. That is, whenever you draw a structure for a given atom, it has to have a least energy possible. Okay, it has to have least energy possible, because if you consider O3 molecule itself, it may have multiple types of structure, and each of those structures may carry multiple charges, and those charges may result in multiple energy levels. So we have to choose that particular structure which has least energy. That is nothing but it should carry least charge in it. If you consider the ozone molecule, the exact structure for ozone molecule which is applicable in all conditions or in all states of matter is O3 with one oxygen with a formal charge of 0, one with oxygen of formal charge 1, and an oxygen with formal charge -1. So this is the structure which you have to follow in order to write down the structure of ozone molecule. So this is how a formal charge of an atom or ion in a polyatomic comes into play. Okay. Next we are going to discuss about is the failures of octet rule or the limitations of octet rule. So in case of octet rule, what we are observed over here is, even though octet rule is quite useful in order to explain the bonding of several atoms, it is not quite universal. That means there are certain compounds which are having a stable bonding formation but which does not follow covalent bonds, or which does not have a covalent bond which follows the octet rule. Therefore, there are quite exceptions in case of octet rule, which are nothing but their limitations which cannot be acceptable in case of certain compounds formation involving a octet rule. Like for example, the first exception, that is limitations of octet rule. The first one among this is incomplete octet atom, central atom. Incomplete central octet configuration. The first exception in this case is incomplete central atom octet configuration. If you consider elements of the period 2 which has valence electron less than 4, if you consider certain elements which are of the period 2 and has less than 4 valence electrons, like for example lithium, beryllium, boron, which respectively have 1, 2 and 3 electrons in their valence shell, and form certain compounds which does not follow the octet rule. Here we can say that first group of NV is equal to 1 and N is equal to 2 has a duplet structure. But if you have to follow octet rule, N is equal to 2 period which has 2s and 2p empty orbitals should also follow octet rule for forming certain compounds. Like if you consider lithium chloride, lithium shares 1 electron with chlorine. Lithium shares 1 electron with chlorine. So if you consider this particular example, chlorine has 8 electrons in its valence shell now with a sharing of 1 electron from lithium, but lithium has only 2 electrons in its valence shell. Similarly, if you consider for beryllium, it will be bonded with 2 Cl atom. Therefore, it will be sharing just 2 electrons, and the total number of electrons after sharing on beryllium will be 4. If you consider for boron, with boron trifluoride complex, it will be having 6 electrons because of 3 bonds. So clearly, in N is equal to 2 period, with the elements which have less than 4 valence electron, what we are going to observe over here is they won't be forming a stable octet configuration which the other elements of the same period was found to form. Like for example, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, etc., which were forming stable octet configuration except for those which have less than 4 valence electron. This is the first drawback of octet rule, because lithium chloride, beryllium chloride and boron trifluoride, all these 3 compounds are quite stable. So therefore, octet rule was said to have an incomplete central octet configuration in case of certain elements of the N is equal to 2 period which has less than 4 valence electron. This is the first backdrop. Next was the second exception was in case of odd number of valence electron. If a certain element has odd number of valence electron, it was found to have certain different type of charges. Like for example, if you consider nitrogen. Nitrogen has 5 electrons in it with an odd configuration of 1 lone pair electron and 3 bonding pair electron. When it treated with nitrogen monoxide, when it is forming nitrogen monoxide and nitrogen dioxide, it was found to have a different kind of an octet configuration. Like if you write down the structure for nitrogen with oxygen, it involves a double bond. Oxygen carries 2 lone pair of electrons. Now the total electrons in the oxygen is 8. Okay, that is good. But if you consider for the nitrogen, it has 2 lone pair of electron. So it has 1 lone pair of electron and 1 single bonding electron. So now if you calculate the total number of electrons present on nitrogen, that will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this nitrogen was found to have just 7 electrons but not 8 electrons. And if you consider NO2, oxygen carries 2 lone pair of electrons in this case. Okay. But if you break down the structure of nitrogen, it was found to have an additional positive charge. That is because if you write the number of electrons in this case, nitrogen has a lone pair of electron and it is forming 4 bonds. That means 2, 4, 6, 8. So totally it had 1 extra pair of electron, clearly showing that it has 1 more electron compared to the other. So the electron present over here is because of the positive and an electron of oxygen. So this particular bond which resulted in the additional charge present on nitrogen, even though it was not supposed to carry any charges. So this is the second exception, that is odd number of electrons in a molecule such as nitrogen monoxide and the nitrogen dioxide clearly created certain complications in the octet rule's stabilization concept of 8 electrons. Next is expanded octet concept. In the third exception, what we observe is certain elements, that is elements of belonging to n is equal to greater than 2 period. If you consider elements which belong to period greater than n is equal to 2, they have more empty orbital. If you consider for phosphor, sulfur, etc., they have 3s, 3p and 3d orbital. So their valence electrons will be more than 8 in certain cases. Like if you consider for phosphor, it is of the atomic number 16. So it should carry phosphor, which is of the atomic number 15. It will carry electrons of 15. That means it will have more than 8 valence electrons in them. That is because when you consider certain elements of certain periods greater than 2, it has empty orbital. When they are bonding with certain elements, they will be carrying more number of electron greater than that of the actual 8 electron. For example, if you consider for the structure of sulfur in sulfuric acid, S double bond O, double bond O, OH, OH. If you consider the structure of sulfuric acid, here the sulfur atom has 12 electrons around it. That is because, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sulfur has 6 bonds. These 6 bonds clearly show that 6 bond means 12 electron. So sulfur is carrying 12 electron, but actually it was supposed to carry maximum of 8 electron according to the octet rule. Therefore, if you consider for phosphor, in phosphor pentachloride, PF5, so here phosphor is having 5 bonds which results in 10 electron system. Phosphor is surrounded by 10 electrons. Therefore, this rule was not quite useful for those elements which belong to periods greater than 2. That is like period 3, period 4, period 5, etc. So these were certain exceptions which caused the octet rule to fail to explain the proper formation of bonds. Further, it was not quite able to explain the shape of a molecule. It was not able to explain the shape of a molecule, and it was also failed to explain the formation of bonds in transition metals. Okay, so this is all about for today. I hope you have understood the concepts of formal charge and limitation of octet rule. If you have any doubt, please do comment down below. In the next video, we'll discuss about ionic or electrovalent bond. Thank you for watching.